Applesauce and hand grenades. That's what we say every morning in the household. It's not true at all. Nice to see everybody here. Nice to hear from everybody here. I haven't heard from any of you because I'm talking to a microphone all by myself with Coy and Winston here. So I'm not by myself. So I've just lied to you 3 times in the course of 45 seconds. And no, not Jesus. He's not here yet. But sometimes visits me in my dream. Also a lie. So it is time for the movie trivia schmodown. That happens on Friday. Today is the big thing, and we are talking about the big thing, and I lied again because the movie trivia schmodown is on a little later on today. So we are going to be doing a rewatch of nothing today. It is all about talking about stories and things that we've heard. Not stories like you hear at a preschool because we're way too old for that. We outlived it. We didn't outlive it. We're still alive. I've lied again. So we are continuing to go on and on and on until we keep going on about the Batman. We're going to be hitting that. That's a story that we're actually going to cover. Barry Keoghan, that's his name, I think it is. He was in a movie, and he was in another one, and he got a scene cut from that movie. He's going to be in that as well. What movie? We're not sure. So we're going to be talking about that. We got Moonknight stuff going on. We got a lot of things going on. Juxtaposition. I just felt like saying that word. It's nice to have you all here. I said that a little while ago, but to have you back. And look, that's a show right there. There's nothing there. And that's what's going on in my head. So make sure you subscribe, hit that notification button, hit the like button, hit the bell. Ring that bell like you're up on a tower with your pants off. All right, everybody, let's get into the big thing. It is time for the movie trivia schmodown. As I said, it's going to be today at 4 p.m. PST. Get your ass ready. All right, let's do it. It's the show. It's the big thing. I'll find the logo soon, I promise. Welcome back, motherfuckers. Welcome back, motherfuckers. How's it going?
Bro, I would swear to God,
if I had a stroke in real time,
if I didn't know because you got 2 kids and a wife that you aren't on drugs, I would swear to God your ass is on drugs.
That was 2 full minutes of just deranged.
Is that just stress induced?
No, that was me watching Caddyshack and loving Chevy Chase and wishing I was his character in life. I feel like I feel like that's how he would be in life, just like everything. You do drugs, Danny? Yes, good.
Just a 2-minute stream of consciousness.
1,000%. Hey, what's going on right now? It's Kristian Harloff. I'm here by myself. That's movie trivia schmodown. It's not right now. That's later. But also suck my dick. I would never say that. That's awful. But by the way, if you would like to, I'm okay with it. My wife probably isn't. I love my wife. I'll have kids. I have 2 kids. One's kind of old. One's kind of young. They be talking a lot. I need a vacation. Damn, I ain't been to a beach in a long motherfucking time.
See, doesn't it feel great? Doesn't it feel good? It does feel good, doesn't it?
Stream of consciousness is power, man. It's like journaling with your mouth.
That's like terrifying.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what.
Yeah, it's intense. Don't let yourself do it. That's what I do when I monologue on my podcast. It's not safe. It's not healthy. It leads to bad things. It leads to bad conversations.
It's also harder than you think.
Well, it's opening up the floodgates of what you might accidentally say. Like the freedom of choice is a problem.
You know what I have to start doing more when I'm getting ready to write and whatnot? It's part of that.
But stream of consciousness stuff's fun, man.
Just let it go.
And that's a good exercise. Look, we're just giving people mental health tips.
I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. I called that shit in my mind.
Did I do that out loud?
Yep, might have done it. See, that's the problem. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
No, I usually just do it at the grocery store. Like I'll walk up to somebody at the grocery store right as they're about to buy a thing of strawberries, and I just will sing a Disney song in their ear as loud as I can.
But then I realize
there's nobody's there and I'm talking to myself.
Yo, you definitely have to walk up to some old lady and just very quietly just, we don't talk about Bruno. No.
Dude, I went to a gifting suite with the girl that sings that song. And like it was so precious that like she's so proud of it, but she kept popping up and like people would ask her to sing it. So I got like Bruno live a bunch of times at an event. And it was the most like Disneyfied IRL moment of my entire life.
I don't know
Someone breaking into Bruno.
You've been going to a lot of those things. You went to Moonknight recently.
Yeah, it was Oscar season, so I've been doing like gifting suites for the studios, and then I'm doing Morbius for Sony officially. So I'm
I gotta tell you, you don't have to say anything because I know you've seen it and you can't talk about it, but like you can't talk about Morbius, but we can talk about it. I think this movie's gonna be a pile of piss. I have to tell you. I'm hoping I'm wrong.
Wednesday, March 30th at Cinemark, hosting the red carpet, Coy Jandreau with Jared Leto.
You don't need to say anything.
I don't even know what this movie is. What are you talking about?
You don't need to say a word. Yep. I just feel, and I hope I'm wrong. I want it to be good. I want it to be a good movie. The signs are pointing to look out.
I'll be honest with you. The minute you got the fact that the trailer feels like you're watching Venom 3, and then the fact that he even is like, "Who are you?" I'm Venom. Yeah, I just think I'm Dr. Michael Morbius. I'm like, you went for the exact same humor. You didn't even attempt.
No, but I'm just the problem. Here's the problem for me is that the embargo. I'm going to see it on Wednesday morning.
Okay.
The embargo drops Wednesday night. It comes out Thursday night.
Yeah, that's
a problem.
Typically, if you do that, that's because you don't feel great about what.
Let's let the audience be the. Let's hope the Rotten Tomatoes audience score overpowers the critics is what it seems like to me. But I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong because I want this movie to be good. I don't know. It's been moved. A lot of different reasons why it was moved. Whether it was because of things going on in the world, or whether it was because they were trying to get the hell out of the way of Spider-Man. Because the box office wise, still, because Spider-Man's still making money.
I was just thinking about it. I still haven't seen it a second time.
I watched it. I just watched it the other night.
It's on digital now.
I know that, but see, that's the problem. I'm not going to buy it on digital when I also want a physical copy.
Yeah, I'm a physical copy guy.
I just got to wait.
Here's what I'll say about that movie. I still like it a lot. I'm glad I saw it in the theater because there's certain movies that I've been very adamant about that so I saw it at home. Who cares? I watched that. I don't think it's definitely not. That's a movie that you definitely should have seen the first time with a crowd.
Yeah, the first time is. I think it'll hold up at home for that, but I don't think you'll ever have that again. That experience is so.
My wife watched it and I said, "What'd you think?" And she's like, "Yeah, it was good." She liked some cheesy parts at times, but it was good. She didn't have that same kind of emotional reaction that we had. Plus, I realized that it's too late to have done it now, but like that rewatch that we all did, that helped dramatically.
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah, so I think
because we got it's not a third movie, it's a ninth movie.
It is.
I mean, an eighth,
whatever the hell it is.
If you count Civil War.
Yeah, no, it plays. It plays good. Sorry, look, if you guys saw don't
5
worry
plus
about
3 is 8,
math,
or you had Civil
hard.
War, Infinity War, and Endgame, it'd be 11.
9, it'd be 10. If you count
Infinity War, Endgame, Civil War.
Oh, you're including Civil War.
I'm including Civil War.
Okay.
So 8 or 11 if I'm
but
those maths.
But the ones that really that you really needed to watch all of them. I guess Civil War for a little bit because of the Aunt May stuff, but for the most part it was the Toby ones, the Andrew ones, and then the full on.
Hoping we get 3, man. Sony's teasing it.
Oh, what, Andrew Garfield's?
Yeah.
Are they still teasing it?
Yeah, and this week their social media campaign keeps talking about it. Yeah, they keep using the font from Amazing Spider-Man.
If they're smart, they should do it.
Oh, 100%. It'll make so much money. Andrew Garfield's he's so hot right now.
He is, and the other question is
so hot right now.
Do they do
take
Toby
a shit,
also?
Roll it up in aluminum foil, sell it to the Queen for earrings.
Well, that's a route.
There's a route. Holy God.
I wish I knew.
The energy in this studio is palpable.
This is why we had to do it in person. This is why it's back.
Holy shit.
He needs some milk.
I mean, when you open a show with a 2-minute stream of consciousness diatribe of lies, where else do you go?
2 minutes.
Where else do you go?
Oh, I thought I was here by myself for 3 hours, and you guys.
Bro, you thought that was 2 minutes? I'm so sorry for your girlfriend.
Oh,
that's fair. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love you,
do
baby.
What I can.
It was like 30
can.
seconds, my guy.
You know what? Time's a flat scale. And frankly, that's also my excuse in the bedroom.
Bro, I need to tell you, if you don't already have one, you got to get like an Apple Watch or some sort of watch like that. There you go.
The Fitbit stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do I need some joy mode?
No, well, I mean that too. I mean, I'm sure that's probably a sponsor today, but I'm saying we have a code. So it used to be yoga, now it's equestrian. So because what ended up happening is Kristen started doing yoga by herself again, and I was like, "Who you f***ing?" I was like, "Yo, who's
the other equestrian? Who's the horse?"
And I know exactly how she answered.
Apologies.
I love that you guys check each other's fit stats.
Yeah.
Well, infidelity
alerts, but that's the fun thing is because we've told all our friends about this now. So if somebody randomly get equestrian trainer, I'm like, yeah, bitch,
oh, that's amazing.
It worked out.
You can also set records. You can have different high stakes. Yo, your BPM was crazy.
Coy, you would have been proud of me. I did when I went to see The Lost City. I did some curling.
Yeah?
Yeah, I curled the pretzel bites right into
over and over and over again.
With the nacho cheese. It was delicious.
Man's going to be fit for summer, folks.
Hey, look, if they'll let me, that's the one thing I will give you about watching stuff at home off of the HBOMAXs and the Paramount Pluses is the fact that you can sit there and be like, man, this movie trash.
Oh, I got that stationary bike.
Yeah,
I love that.
You still, there's nothing worse than going to the theater, spending money to go out to the theater, having a nice, and then the movie just is shit. Right? It's because you're like, oh, I had to go. I went out of my house for this when I didn't need to. I had to deal with people for this when I didn't need to. If it's a good movie, then it's worth it, and you feel like you're in that experience. But yeah, you're right. Well, there's the way that TV works now, and that's why the streaming services and all these things are working so well, because I popped on when I watched the Adam Project last week, just laying on my couch watching a movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and I enjoyed that once. I probably would have enjoyed seeing it in the theater also, but I enjoyed watching that movie.
So I'm pretty extreme exhibition theater. Like, I like the exhibitor side of things, but I've actually found lately the more movies I watch at home, the more I'm like, man, I wish I'd waited and seen. Like, Adam Project was one where I was like, I wish I could have, and that wasn't even an option to see in theater, really. And Moonknight I saw, and can't talk about it yet, but when I saw it at the premiere on the big screen, that's such a movie. That's seeing the El Cap.
So I've also seen the 4 episodes. We can say that.
Yeah.
All I'll ask you is this. Because I had, there are a couple of times, and I wonder, because they, just so everybody knows, the ones that they sent you, the first 2 are like done, and then 3 and 4 so they're still adding stuff to. So I'm wondering how it works. But was the CGI? How did the CGI look on the big screen?
That's what surprised me. Is it really holds up?
Does it?
Like, the lighting looked incredible. I was worried about the cape for a couple things, and it didn't look bad. Like, it felt like a movie in that environment. Plus, they're longer, so back to back, it felt like I saw a Moon Knight movie. It's so special.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Kristian, because we had this argument, I want to say on SCN maybe, or maybe it was a big thing. I don't remember. But you obviously made it very clear you don't want any more Star Wars films for at least a little while.
Well, I mean,
you want to focus on TV.
It depends. It depends on what the movie is. And it depends on, if for Star Wars, if it's a movie that... Like Taika Waititi's movie, I'm excited for.
Okay.
Like, because I obviously want to know what it is, but I know that he's going to put the time, the care, and the effort into it, and I know it's actually going to stick.
Sure.
Right. The standalone movies, like a Rogue Squadron, I thought was a good idea, because when you start to have too much expectations in Star Wars that tie into everything, I think because there's too many cooks in the kitchen on the film side, because to them there's more at stake because of the money getting people out. I think they have more creative freedom during TV. So
I get that.
Yeah.
I the only reason I bring that up is that, like, for example, Mandalorian is one of the best TV shows we've seen ever.
Yeah.
I think what really is lacking and what sucks, and what they should figure out how to solve that problem, they are shooting these Star Wars shows. They are shooting these MCU TV shows like movies.
Yeah.
Both in what they're putting in, like, obviously the cast, but in the CGI, in the storytelling, in the spectacle. So what sucks is that I know that a lot of our at-home systems are getting pretty damn good. It still does not beat. I would kill
to have that
watch,
kind of system.
You know what I'm saying? To watch like Loki.
Just real quick. Hold that thought. You got to move that mic. It looks like Winston's penis is in your face.
Just right there.
But see, I'm coming from this side.
Oh no, I gave you that was intimate.
Use your words.
Like I felt.
Use your words
carefully.
Yeah. You're coming from the side. Take it easy. We get it. We understand.
If this starts thrusting in any direction at me, I just feel. Oh God, prison! I'm so sorry, officer.
Snake the toilet while you're here.
Yo. Hey, Coy, just put on equestrian.
Salt cat soap would not get dropped. The salt cat soap did not get dropped.
Put on equestrian training. It's okay.
Equestrian mode. It's equestrian mode. Oh, my BPMs.
Oh, wow.
It's an episode. Right. I'm so sorry, audience.
This is what happens when you don't give us a movie to watch, you sons of bitches.
No, we are.
Yeah. Well, now we know.
Speaking of which, if you guys didn't know, we have the watch along or the rewatch of the Phantom Menace. Yeah, the Phantom Menace.
We're doing that. It's bold.
The Mask of Phantasm. That is up on the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/SENLive. The link is in the description. But we do one rewatch per month, and it's exclusive to patrons, and you guys can get that. And this time, last month, it was myself and Dorina doing the thing. This month, it is myself, Winston, and Coy doing Mask of Phantasm. So we're going to be able to, if you want to see the full, I had never seen it before. So you'll get my first thoughts on it, and you'll get Coy and Winston their revisit on it. So make sure you join over there. Now, speaking of Batman, the Batman had a scene that had Barry Keoghan, the Joker, and he was in the movie more so than, and by the way, spoilers for those people who haven't seen the Batman yet, there's a scene in the movie that they kept in that we all agreed, Winston so much that he even repeated Coy afterwards to repeat the same point.
Verbatim.
But we all agree that this was a scene that could have been a great post-credit scene, and it has just the voice of the Joker talking to the Riddler. And I felt like it was a different tone completely. It didn't even really fit the 7 like Fincher tone. However, they released this scene with the Joker and the Batman, and my thoughts on this, and I want to hear the guys because they both watched it before we started the show today. I don't know anything for how they feel about it, so I'll give my thoughts first, and then I want to hear what they say. The scene to me is a great scene. It's shot very well. I think that Barry Keoghan actually fits in incredibly as the Joker, where inside of the tone way more, and I like that you don't necessarily see him, but you start to reveal throughout the scene how mangled he is, and not only mangled physically but mangled mentally. And he's talking about these things and it's a very Clarice Starling, Hannibal Lecter type scene as they're going back and forth, and he's asking for advice. And what I loved about it is they established that the Joker and the Batman know each other already. They've gone through some stuff together, and I love that. Now, that being said, very smart that they cut this scene out of the movie. It reveals so much of the actual plot and everything that we learn about why the Riddler is doing everything later on in the movie. He tells us, and I think it's smart for them to release it now because, and I said on our Batman show, I didn't need to see the Joker ever again. Especially, I like Barry Keoghan, but I need to see him. I changed my mind. I don't necessarily know, and we can get into a larger conversation about that after we hear your thoughts about whether or not he should join the second Batman, or do we think he's better suited for the Arkham series? But that being said, we'll ask Winston first. Winston, thoughts on the scene itself and the breakdown of it?
All right, so as far as giving us context to the character, I think that it was smart that they cut it, but it did provide that link that we needed to go. Now I understand why we're bothering having him in Arkham at one point. So that's fine. That being said, maybe I just need to watch it again. I felt very differently. I felt that Barry was trying to do his best Heath impression. Sure. I think that there was this weird thing where he was like, well, I don't want to do what Jared did. And I obviously Heath is the gold standard, and like I got to put my own twist on it, and like it literally felt, and maybe it's just because of the timing of it or how the intro is just kind of straight into him or whatever it is. I just got a reading of someone trying to do a Heath clone, and I think part of that is that I just need more tape on him to make a decision one way or the other, but it rubbed me the wrong way in the sense that I was just kind of like...
You just felt he was doing an impression. All right. 1-1. Coy, where do you land?
I could not be more biased because he's an Irishman playing the Joker, and that makes me so happy that the Rogues Gallery is being taken over by the old country. I personally felt the way they shot it endeared me to a character that I was reluctant to experience again so soon because I consider Heath the gold standard, and because I've seen other people try to do it and not feel good about those takes, that Heath's Joker is so unique and special that I did a video ranking the Batmans after we did the rewatch, like just a little video, and the amount of people that are like, yeah, but Dark Knight's not good without Heath. Yeah, but like neither is Heat without Pacino. Like you can't take out an integral part of a movie, and it's such a weird argument, but that's how good Heath was that it's separated even above the good movie that is Dark Knight. My thing was the way they shot this, that introduction made me go, oh, they're giving me almost like a crime scene of him. They're giving me the way they showed his hands looked like Seven when they showed the mangled hands. Like they did so many little detail things where I felt I was interested in the Joker in a way that I didn't think I could be. And for me, it actually improved the scene in the movie. I get why they cut it narratively, but it meant that shot. Like that's literally Seven. Like that is beautiful.
That is great.
Because you get to build up to the Joker.
And the funny thing is I don't necessarily even have beef with the scene. Yeah. For me, his take. Just Barry's take for now. If this is all I have, and I'll watch it again. It's only a 5-minute scene, but so far, like I agree with Kristian as well. It is beautifully shot. Yeah, that is so one of the most beautifully shot things. Like
so, it just bugged you on the portrayal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think it improves upon that credit scene that we liked as a credit scene.
That I don't think anybody can
deny. Because it improves that whole dynamic.
It definitely improves it because I didn't know what we were getting. What I liked about Barry Keoghan's actual, I thought it was, when I saw it, I felt there were sprinkles of Heath. There's no doubt about it. I didn't feel it was a pure ripoff. My personal take on it. I felt that it was subtle in a lot of moments because he's even saying to me, he says, because he seems like he's out, like just playing you the whole way, and he's just complete lunatic from start to finish. There's parts with the way Barry Keoghan's playing this, like, yeah, he's all mangled and stuff. But he's like, didn't you read the file?
I love that he's smarter than Batman.
Yeah, he's talking to him, and then he's just like, and then you get to that maniacal laugh that keeps popping in there, and I actually thought it was, because you knew the laugh was coming at one point. And you're like, how's it going to play? And I thought he did it like 2 or 3 times, but each time was... It's like, that was nice, the way he peppered it in there. I loved his performance. I thought it was great. And it makes me... So here's the second part of this conversation and probably the overall title of this episode. Do we want to see... Because we had all said we don't need to see the Joker again, especially not in the second movie. Would we rather see the Joker... I'll pose 2 scenarios. One, in this capacity, talking like a Hannibal Lecter to Batman during the second movie and not being the main villain, right? Or being the main villain, and then scenario 3 actually, or being a part of the Arkham series and filling his role in there until we finally get to a movie. Winston, go ahead.
I'm gonna go with let him play the Hannibal role.
In the second one.
I think you clearly wanted to do it before.
Yeah.
And so I like the idea of maybe beyond all that, if he's actually, his masterminding plan is that he is riling up all of the Arkham inmates, and he's the one kind of maybe pushing, being the agent of chaos, but as a little bit more hands-off until it allows him to do whatever he wants to do. I would be here for that, but I don't need him out in the streets doing what the Joker does, not because I don't love that, but because we've done it a lot. Right. You know,
I personally would tie him as the thing that puts Arkham and Batman 2 together over Batman. What I would do is I'd have him be the Hannibal Lecter of the show and the Hannibal Lecter of the Batman 2. And that way you've got this great, everyone wants to see the Joker. Everyone loves the character of the Joker. That'll get people's eyes on the HBO Max series. That'll get people's eyes on the hype of Batman 2. And then he's the bad guy in maybe Batman 3 or 4. But have your cake and eat it too. Let him be that thing that connects those things. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, if you have Batman in Arkham too much, it's a Batman show. You want it to be an Arkham show. If you have Joker in Arkham in an Arkham show, everybody's happy.
Speaking of something you just said, I just saw, and we'll go back to this conversation. I saw The Lost City.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
They used one of my jokes in stand-up. They didn't steal it, obviously, but they used it.
That's so funny.
You just said, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
What the hell else are you going to do with it? It's a cake. You're going to put petunias on it? It's a fucking cake. You eat it. And Sandra Bullock at one point goes, well, what else are you going to do with it? It's a cake. I was like, oh! But anyway.
I'm done at the New York Comedy Club. Hey, Sandy Bullock took my
stole my whole joke.
So here's the question. Was Lost City good?
The Lost City, let me ask you this question. Did you like the trailer?
I haven't seen it.
Okay. And
I'm obsessed with the trailer.
It was then you'll love it.
Okay.
The conversation that we had last week on this show, I hold stronger than I did even when I said it last week. There are movies like The Batman and Spider-Man and those movies that right now are crushing at the box office for obvious reasons. And then there's movies that we mentioned like Bullet Train, which I think is going to be a risk to go see in the theater. There's movies like The Adam Project decided not to go into the theater because maybe it doesn't do as well and it decides to take its shot. This is a movie that should come out in theaters because it's something that we don't have, and that's a date movie.
Rom-coms are rare, man.
It's not even just a rom-com. It's a romantic adventure movie. It's a throwback movie, and it's clever. It's fun. It has heart.
Okay.
So if it's one of these movies that you want to go on a date and you want to go with your significant other and have a good time, you will have a good time. If it's like, I hated the trailer and I didn't want to see anything to do with Sandra Bullock, you'll hate the movie.
Okay, the only reason why I asked is because I was like, if the movie bombs, you still got your joke. But if the movie becomes one of the greatest rom-coms of all time, your joke's gone.
Hell no, it's not. I got receipts,
yeah, no, he's got years of tape. Years of tape, Sandy.
I got a year. That's it's funny because someone had said I had some joke that I had done like 10 years ago, and then someone had said, well, it was on some show or something. I go, I don't care. I have video from 2002. I don't give a shit.
So without spoilers, because I just want expectations to be at the right level, is there more Brad Pitt than the trailer? Like, is he in it?
Yeah, he's in it.
Okay, good, because he's delightful.
He's great in it. But I think that but I really enjoyed Channing Tatum's character because it was a little bit more unexpected than I thought.
Okay.
And
Sandra Bullock. Fabio.
That's the thing. I was thinking it was going to be. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Go see it. But anyway,
the 25th.
It comes out today. It would already be out. It'll be out.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember, it is the 25th.
I know what I'm doing in the future.
It is the 25th. Yes.
In the present.
That's right. So speaking of the future, going
Time's
back,
a flat
going
circle.
back to the Joker.
30 seconds.
Yeah, and saying what Coy said. I think Arkham's a good idea, my friend.
I think that's how you put it all together. I had to bring it back. I had to get my dignity back.
My brain didn't connect the dots.
I saw it not happening.
It was good.
I was like, times of flat. I was like referencing our last joke, and you're about to repeat me, and I see it happening. Yeah. That's your I'm gonna repeat Coy's thought face. Like,
no, sometimes he just goes to another planet and he comes back.
What it is if you look in my eyes, because it becomes a dead stare. It's literally that Windows 95 where the machine just completely resets.
You know that
itself?
alien in Men in Black? Like he just went on vacation. Like the guy running you inside. He's like, no, I gotta get lunch, bro.
That's right.
Yeah, there's just motor function, but no Winston.
Yeah, it's like inside out. Everybody just went to sleep.
I'm like, but you make the movement of acknowledge, and that's the worst part. Is it's like Winston's engaged in
right, but it's usually always right.
It's such a rendering.
Fear takes over the controls and just doesn't know. And finally, Joy just pops back up, and now Joy's in control. Look,
I don't know many people that actually have the spinning Mac wheels in their eyes, but he goes full like.
Yeah. Wait, what's the name of the news? Joy something. What's the sponsor?
Joy Mode.
Joy Mode.
Yeah,
bro. First of all, that's hilarious. They should try and hit up Disney and see if they can borrow Joy for that.
It's a very different ad. All right, listen. While we're at it, we'll get back into the Joker. Listen, let's get into. If we're going to talk about stuff, let's talk about. Hey, if you're going to have Joy Mode, you got to have something to hold that Joy Mode, and that's got to be MeUndies. How you like that? If you guys haven't tried MeUndies, well, you're doing it wrong. I've had MeUndies for a very long time, and I love it because we've been doing it since the Schmoes Know days, everybody. Because everybody has something that you look forward to every morning, whether it's your coffee or your pet or the face of someone you love. And MeUndies wants to be part of that list. You have to start your mornings off with your favorite underwear. And it's not just any underwear. It's ridiculously soft undies with ridiculous prints that make picking out underwear actually fun. And it's true. You can go on their site, and I've done it before, and just kind of look at all the fun designs that they have. And that makes things fun in any way your imagination goes. But they also have other things besides just underwear. They have socks and tons of stuff, and I love it. I've so many different times. I'll be honest, when I'm going through my drawer and I have a MeUndies, everything else is secondary. It's always MeUndies. And for you guys, when you're going through your drawer, you got to make sure that the things you have are comfortable, they're cute. It can be both. And MeUndies makes the softest fabrics. I love the way that they feel. You don't even realize it. You think you're going commando because it feels so nice, but you're not. You got MeUndies on, and you can sit if you want to. You sit on your couch all day, or you go out and you can live your comfiest life. And you try their undies, the socks, the bralettes, the loungewear. You'll never go back, I promise. You can choose from a range of limited edition prints and colors and sizes from extra small to 4 extra large. You can also sign up for their free to join MeUndies membership, where you'll get a monthly subscription that sends new styles right to your door. And then you can enjoy discounted pricing, free shipping, and exclusive early access to new launches. What's great about it is MeUndies has a great offer for Big Thing listeners. Any first-time purchasers, you get 15% off and free shipping. MeUndies also has their promise. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, you can return your order for a full refund with 45 days. Get 15% off and your first order and free shipping, but you have to go to MeUndies.com/bigthing. That is MeUndies.com/bigthing.
Dude, it's so interesting watching the evolution of MeUndies. So I remember where they started.
I remember you telling me this. Yeah.
They had a website called Me and My Place that a photographer was doing, where they would have individual ladies.
Yeah, my friend Chloe did a couple of those. That's
right. Where like in their apartments, and they would do like tasteful posing and stuff in their place, and then they eventually evolved the brand into MeUndies. And I've been subscribed to MeUndies for a minute. Most of my underwear at this point is them.
It's the best.
It's super great. They're very, very soft and made for a great anniversary present, because you can do a partner thing where you buy matching underwear sets.
It's cute as hell.
Yeah, so it's just wild to see a brand like
I didn't know it started with Me and My Place. I didn't know that was the same company.
But it shows you, though, the longevity when you have great stuff.
When you have a good idea.
That's the whole... but you got to have good...
execution.
Yes. I get you.
Did you just...
I got him.
By my face.
Damn it. We could have sold it and pretend that I got him.
I got him.
Oh, he caught him.
Good.
Yeah.
I sent him over. I sent him over your way.
Yeah, you winged him.
Double team.
It was like opening a pickle jar.
It's like Jordan and Pippen.
It up. We got him.
Yeah. All right. Anyway.
Can't believe this happened.
Let's get back
on camera.
Why wasn't that a wide?
Yeah.
Full Obama. What was that? Get out of here.
Yeah. Let's get back to Arkham.
Back to Arkham.
Back to Arkham. No, I like the idea of setting him up through Arkham because I think it's that same conversation, Winston, you asked earlier about like the Star Wars stuff, right? This is the beauty, I think, of streaming in general, is that when you build up a character, and obviously the Joker has been built up many times over, but when you're trying to get him over in wrestling terms, right, getting him over with the fans, this new version of him, you want to get him in a place where people have eyes on him all the time. So if you put him in Arkham and people want more, when it's just like little sprinkles, you're like, oh, I want to see more of that guy. I like what he did there. Because look at this scene as a perfect example.
Yeah.
I didn't want to see the Joker anymore. I like Barry Keoghan a lot. And I didn't want to see the Joker. I'm like, no more. And then this scene, I'm like, well, all right, this take. I'm like, I kind of like what they're doing here with him, and I like that idea. And I also would be okay if he does show up in the Batman in the second movie, if he's in this capacity. And then if they do like 4 movies, and then he's the final villain, he breaks out, and it's the end of it, and they then that's fun. If they set him up through Arkham, have him play out in either the second or the third movie, and then whatever they fit. Do they say it's definitely a trilogy?
That's what Pattinson's been alluding to, and I think as soon as they announce 2, they're going to announce 3. I think they're just going to say, like, the Batman trilogy.
Why not?
I'd also call it the Caped Crusader and then the World's Greatest Detective. Like, I'd lean in because you're going to make the money.
Might as well.
And then, like, lean into the styles because the next one he needs to work on his fighting style because right now he just gets shot. He just, he's a closed fist, but he's blunt here and there. Yeah. And then it'd be cool to see him actually be smarter than someone in the third one because at this point, like, the Joker outwitted him. So it'd be cool to see that evolve. Yeah. That's what I'd do.
Yeah. So, but Winston, you will say this, even though you feel that it was a Heath Ledger kind of imitation, you are still intrigued enough that you'd want to see this character.
Oh, I would literally what it is that I am not sold, but I am. What's the Leo line from Django? It's like, first you have my curiosity, now you have my attention. You have my curiosity right now. Yeah. That's all you have. You do not have my attention, but you do have my curiosity. There was enough there for me to go, okay, I'm willing to give this kid a shot and see what's going on. But and to be honest, it's the stuff that y'all were talking about. It's him looking at the violence and the little chuckles and how those are like kind of falling out of him. Yeah. I believe that. That's why you have my curiosity. Yeah. But the rest of it, I was kind of like, okay.
You feel like you've seen it before. Yeah. All right. I mean, I don't think that's an unfair criticism. And I think that I've seen that from some people. But I do like the idea of the Arkham stuff. I think that's because I can't remember which one you guys just said it, but the idea of putting someone in there to sell the show.
Yeah,
right?
I think connecting those things, and he's as big as Batman. Like the Joker is as big of a character.
100%. We haven't seen him really inside of the TV shows, minus Cesar Romero and the Mark Hamill animated stuff. But to do it this way inside of a live action, to do. And then when you couple that with the fact that the Penguin and Colin Farrell is going to be doing his thing, now you've got the dichotomy of organized crime, organized, in Arkham, you've got the police force mirroring. Like, there's so much you could do with like imagery and styles. And DC now is coming to play.
Yeah,
like, they're really coming to play with their DC shows.
Their comics are that right now. There's 7 Batman books. There's 4 different spinoffs of the Robins. There's 2 Nightwing books.
And they have Peacemaker. And they have Peacemaker on for as far as the TV show that went really well.
Yeah.
So
that's why I just wish Doom Patrol got more respect, man. That show is so
I hear
good.
It's really good. I haven't watched it yet.
Good.
Yeah. It was like the first one when they launched HBO Max. That was the show that they had.
If I remember, it was Titans, then Doom Patrol. Right. Then Swamp Thing, which
nobody miserably. Yeah. Was that HBO Max?
That was technically DC Universe.
But was it made specifically for HBO Max?
I think it was made for DC Universe, and then it was acquired.
Oh, right, because they had that separate.
But
thing.
so was Titans and Doom Patrol. But that's the whole thing. Since it got absorbed, I'm counting it sort of.
I'll be honest, and obviously no disrespect to anybody involved, but I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, man, and it was like that was the problem. Like Amy was on it. Like it was a big thing, and then
HBO Max, that was a very smart move by them.
Oh,
because it just took everything that they have.
Yeah, I think that network. We talk about it all the time. How that's the best blockbuster. Like it's literally the best backstock.
Easily.
Plus their IP is really good, and if we get a Penguin show, an Arkham show, especially with the Joker, like it's going to be hard to deny HBO's superiority.
That's hard. That is hard to deny. It's a superiority. I don't know yet. I think they're in the game.
I think if they get those 2 shows as good, then I think that's a conversation to have over Netflix.
I don't know, man. And I think Netflix, Disney, and HBO Max are going to be trading the baton for a while here.
Here's the thing.
I'm cool with that.
HBO Max There may be some, but so far HBO Max hasn't missed.
That's what I'm saying.
Netflix misses a lot.
They throw a lot of spaghetti at the wall.
Well, yeah,
HBO's
but here's
calculated.
Here's the thing that they haven't missed inside of our genre, right?
Ooh.
The thing,
Because
there are other things though, Winston, that on that stuff that you're just not watching. I'm not watching.
But hold on. I'll put it to you this way, because I've been on a StarCraft kick for some reason. I don't know if you ever played, either of you, but it's a real-time strategy game. You have 3 different races. They all do 3 different things very well. Netflix, for those nerds out there that understand my analogy here, is kind of Zerg in the sense that they just put out a shit ton of stuff.
Yeah.
They put out so much content that something's gonna land.
Yeah.
Whereas when you look at, say, Disney feels very like, Protoss, we're throwing all our money at this. We're gonna make sure the Mandalorian slaps, and there's not gonna be denying that whatsoever.
You're using the same thing, but the same thing. There's tons of stuff on Disney that is not aimed for us.
I don't disagree with you. But I'm saying I don't like, even with the Orange is the New Blacks, the House of Cards, I don't necessarily know, Squid Game maybe. I don't know any of those shows that had hit that hard as the Disney shows and what they did to pop culture. Because
we talk about those shows. And obviously we're in the genre content space.
Right.
But you do see that conversation all over every social media. Whereas I don't see that a lot with, other networks.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm saying those 3. And I think, as much as I agree with you guys that Netflix throws out a lot of stuff, they got some bangers, man. Whether it's
disagree.
Cobra Kai, Ozark, Stranger Things, like they've got but you're right. There's so much stuff that, and the other side of it, now they're playing, and what they did, they were just known. You brought up House of Cards and those. They were just known for those series, like they were becoming like the new HBO.
Yeah.
And now that they did, that was very smart. They're the best evolving business in the streaming that they have. But even when they started with taking out Blockbuster by sending out the stuff and then going to streaming,
they're ahead of the curve,
and they revolutionized the whole streaming thing.
Yeah.
But like what you do though, the other thing though with Netflix is that movies, man. When you look at the Adam Project and Red Notice, that's another thing that they're doing.
The Charlize Theron movie,
and they're trending all the time. There's tons of movies that they have consistently. That because you're right, also Winston, the IP that they're playing in Star Wars, for Disney Plus. But as you said, they're targeting one particular IP in Marvel and Star Wars, as where Netflix is kind of just they've got a lot.
I am a dog with a bone. I cannot shake this metaphor because it fits fucking perfectly. Because I could keep going with I'm not going to, because I know you guys don't know what I'm talking about, so that doesn't help.
StarCraft,
but it legitimately the balance, and I give them credit. Each of these streamers has picked a lane, and they know how to handle it. And what they're trying to do is, once they've conquered that lane, they are trying to branch out and take the other ones from, sweep the leg, essentially.
Yeah. Well, and HBO Max, though, as you said, Coy, what they are able to do, because HBO has been such a giant and a media mogul for so long, that they have so many relationships inside of the movies that they have, and plus the fact now that they have the Warner Brothers catalog and these other things, that they're able to play in the movie space. But Disney now with Fox and bringing that, so that's why the 3
and
of them.
And the parental decode, that's going to be huge. Like that parental thing, it means we might be turning. Because right now, if I have a date night, I don't throw on Netflix, I throw on HBO Max.
Right.
So, but with Disney getting that parental code, that could shift.
Let's browse the Fox library.
Let's see what we got, because there's so much. Totally. And then the MGM thing we talked about last week.
That's
Amazon's about to throw down 40,000.
They're in fourth place. They're in fourth place.
Hulu's fifth, I think.
And Apple is playing around.
Prestige.
Well, but Hulu's part of Disney.
Oh, good point. I was thinking of the actual app.
Yeah, I think Hulu's going to be eventually. All of Hulu's stuff is, now that they do this parental stuff,
I think it's going to get full.
All of Hulu's going to go into Disney Plus.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia's Disney princes.
Yeah.
Right, oh my God, dude! You cannot have Sweet D.
Charlie Day is a Disney prince, son.
Dude, Sweet D is not a Disney princess.
You know she is.
Are you
Disney princess from the streets? Streets of Philly.
But that's what I'm saying though. They're gonna get Hulu. Saturday Night Live, everything.
Yeah, it's definitely coming.
Is going to be,
because it's such a good brand. You want to lean into the Disney Plus.
It's going to be put in the Disney Plus.
It's going to be really interesting in 5 years when we look back at these conversations.
But wait, I have a question there. How does that work? Because isn't Disney, not Disney, Saturday Night Live, that's Universal, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's NBC. It's over on Peacock.
Right, so it's on Peacock. So then how? So is it
I think
because Hulu has a deal? They have a deal in licensing.
Yeah. Hulu has a TV distribution licensing thing going on. So that's why they have. Even though it was owned by Fox before, it played Fox shows, ABC shows, NBC shows, etc.
Right. It's always ever evolving too, right?
You like the Marvel Netflix? Those were Marvel owned shows that Netflix had the rights to for a time.
Right.
I think SNL's the same.
Well, there's also certain movies, and there's things that you see all the time. Like there's movies that will be from the studio, like whether it's on Disney Plus or whatever it is, but it'll also be on another. I've seen tons of stuff where it's been on HBOMAX also, and they're licensing it, and they're the same way that when we were kids, like HBO would have it for a little bit, Showtime would have it for a little bit, and all those things. And then
Spider-Man's starting on Stars.
Right, and that's what I mean. It'll continue there, and then
the new one, No Way Home, is debuting online on Stars.
Yeah,
they got the rights.
They got the rights.
Stars threw down money.
Yeah. Well, because Sony doesn't have anything, right?
Yeah.
So,
but it's not on Disney until.
I'm surprised they still didn't figure something out. You had PlayStation, which
PSN was a problem. Remember those PlayStation? Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Well,
is they invested.
Wait a minute. Why am I acting like I'm a stand for that when they took all my game library and ain't nobody helped me out, man?
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah,
what are they going to do? What are they going to do, Sony? Because Sony's like. I mean, their library, I don't think is big enough to try to play. That's another reason why. It's like
they got such good IP.
It's Sony Columbia, though, right? So
but they have a good movie library.
Yeah,
but I think it's I don't know. I at this point, if you didn't jump into the game,
5 years ago, 7 years ago,
yeah, it's tough because Disney made that move. Once Disney got into it, and then kudos to HBO Max though, because HBO Max is like, no, we can play, and they did, and when they did, they fired it out quick. They got the stuff out that they did, and what was really smart was when that Action Park doc came out, and they got in early because that was because now there's so much of the big IP stuff coming out. But did you guys wind up watching that movie?
Of course I did. We talked about it.
I don't remember anything.
We did. We talked a lot.
We talked about it.
I know we did on SEN Live.
Oh yeah, I've seen it though. Yeah.
But Coy, I went to that place.
I heard legend of it because I was East Coast kid too. So I never went though.
I went many times and avoided death many times. My friends, I was talking I always call my friend John Pinto, and I'm going to tell him to tell a story of Action Park. He never picks up the phone. He picked up once. If I've called him 40 times, he's picked up once. So let's see. You got
Johnny Pinto, Joker, Arkham, or Batman?
It's a safe bet to get. You got yay or nay? He's going to pick up.
I'm gonna go nay.
I'll go yay.
Mix it up.
I'll take the odds.
It's 4:30. It's a different time over there.
I'll take the odds.
He doesn't really pick up anymore though. He's only picked up once.
I think he knows better. He knows he's on air. He's like, I'm not gonna.
No, he's good on air. And he tells a great story about Action Park. But
he comes on. Hey, Kristian.
No. You know, I got a text from him. No, he's not like Richard, but he'll call me up and be like, hey, because he'll want to get away from his wife and kids. Like, you want to play virtual golf? And we play VR golf. So
damn,
yeah, he didn't pick up. Hey, listen, this isn't John Pinto. He wasn't around, so I got to be honest with you, Pinto. If Kristian's calling you to talk about Action Park when you almost can roll off the sled, you should be calling him. What else are you doing? Hanging out in your backyard with your kids and an iced tea? Listen, I got to go get a slice.
Man, I miss New York.
Have you seen it?
Action Park, yeah, it's fantastic. Dude, it's terrifying.
So good. It's so good.
I was so nostalgic for a park I'd never been to because it was so similar to parks I had been to. Like they really captured nostalgia in that.
Well, but I guess that's just coming back around to HBO Max. That's what I mean by they don't miss. Action Park didn't miss. The Tiger documentary was incredible.
Well, that was Netflix.
That was Netflix, wasn't it? Tiger King?
Tiger King?
No, not Tiger King. The Tiger Woods documentary.
All right, watch your mouth.
Oh, I missed them.
Tiger Woods. Yo, Tiger
I thought you were saying Tiger King. Well, I guess he is the king. But that we were talking about a different Tiger King. By the way, speaking of Tiger King, I haven't watched a trailer for it. I don't even know if there is one yet, but I knew it. That Kate McKinnon one that's coming out. That's serious.
I think it's already out.
Is it out already?
Joe versus Carol?
Is he eating a pile of piss?
I
feel like it is.
I'm not sure.
I've heard nothing about it.
I've been watching Bel Air. Bel Air.
How is it?
Is Bel Air good?
Yeah.
I love Bel Air.
I didn't think Will would put his name behind it unless it was incredible.
That was my whole thing, is that they did a really good job of finding a way to
dramatize it.
Exactly. Yeah. Just take all the comedy out of it. How do we make this like really work? And it works like very well in my opinion.
That's
no
good.
Shit.
Yeah. And that's NBC.
That's Peacock. That's Peacock.
You know what's funny? I pitched, and like obviously it's kind of like your joke. Like people have ideas that are similar on movie fights. One of my winning movie fights was I pitched a Fresh Prince of Philadelphia, where Will Smith's kid, and have it be Jaden, goes to Philly and has to learn the hard side of the streets, and he gets humbled by poverty instead of wealth. And it's the same story.
Jackie
in reverse.
Chan in that one?
And Jackie Chan is the father. But like that way, you've got the inversion, and then like the Bel Air feels like that tone.
Bro, what's so funny is because they obviously didn't want to have a situation where Jeffrey just becomes the butler again.
Yeah.
So he's like the house manager, but what he really does,
as played by Jackie Chan,
he deals with all of the dirt of the family.
Oh,
bro.
that's
he just
awesome.
It's like you talking to who? Hey, take him out. Like, dude, it's so good.
Was it a crime family?
Not really, but there's like a little bit of shade kind of happening under the thing. Yeah.
Wow. And Uncle Phil?
That's the whole thing. From what I could tell, Everything is above board, minus a few little indiscretions here and there where it's like, you shouldn't be doing that. Yeah. And that's kind of what's happening with the family. So, like, again, Jeffrey is the dude that makes sure everybody stays clean.
Right.
But the rest of the family, they're just kind of living their life and just trying to make things happen. So
cool.
it's really
there's so much good TV. Like I just finished Pam and Tommy. I'm on season 2. Have you watched Wu-Tang: An American Saga?
I know about it. I haven't.
Dude, it's insanely good.
Yeah. Well, look, so there's tons of stuff out there all the time that you can find. That's why it's hilarious and still there's tons of stuff you can find, and everyone will go through this, especially if you're in a relationship. You'll spend about an hour looking for something, and just.
I make lists, man. I literally make lists, and then we literally roll a 20 die of what number it is, and then leave it to fate.
And how long you been with your girl?
This is a weird answer. Depends on which one we're talking about, because I got a dating thing going on.
Right. So none of this counts. What you're saying.
But like,
there's none of this. You're right, because it's all about mood. Because it could start off with like, hey baby, you want what? No, I don't really feel like doing that.
I'm not in the mood though. We did that. We watched that. It's like I don't like him. I don't like. Oh, she's all right. Oh yeah. How you feel about that? I'm not in the mood for that.
No, I'm too early in that. I'm in honeymoon phase.
No, I'll have bad dreams if I watch that. Okay, no, that. And you're going through it, and you're like an hour later, and you still haven't found anything. And I'm like, we've gone through Netflix and Amazon. There's so much stuff, and we've picked nothing. Yeah. And she's like, if you recommend RoboCop one more time. And it's over. But now it comes to a place that I know I'm going to get the reaction. We'll go through it, and I go, hey, I got a great idea. What about RoboCop? like slipping it in there, like maybe she forgot that I mentioned it the other 1,003 times.
Christian, I found out a trick. Someone put me on a trick. Do you have the same issue with your wife as far as like trying to figure out what are we going to do for dinner, and then when you start talking about it, she's like, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, etc.
No, because here's the problem that I have. That I try to make it easy. Okay. And because I do get that conversation every day, 3 days, like it'll be in the morning. So what do you want for dinner? Hey, what do you want for dinner tomorrow night? And the answer though is to make it easy is whatever you guys feel like. Well, that's not helpful. I'm like, what do you mean it's not helpful? Whatever. I will slap a piece of bread and ham on it and peanut butter, and I'll eat the stupid thing. Well, like it doesn't matter. It's food. Just eat. I'll eat it. She's like, well, that's not helpful.
I get what you're saying, and I also get it coming from the standpoint that it sounds like with Kristen, like a lot of times she's like, can you give me ideas? Because trying to come up with a decision isn't always helpful.
What are you in the mood for?
But exactly. So what I've learned, I ask her what she wants for dinner either the day before or in the morning. So then we're not like getting ready to figure out what to do for dinner.
No, I know.
So she gets time to think about it.
Well, so that's the thing. It's like, what are you in the mood for? Chicken. Well, like a chicken tenders sounds great. Like, let's not go through a full menu. We don't. Oh, speaking of full menu, I got to tell you about this disaster that I had at the sushi last night. Okay. So I had
the level of engagement. And you were like casually a story, but
no, because I said to myself, I have to bring this up on air. I went to my favorite sushi place that I love. I love this
Which one?
I mean, I don't want to bring it up on air.
But does the story go dark?
No, it's not dark. It's just we were out. We were having a dinner, and so. And like I said, I've been going to this place for over 12 years. It's my favorite place and still is. The food is absolutely incredible. One guy comes over and he's very nice. He fills up the waters and he's doing everything. And I remember I was a very bad server, but I was a server years ago. So I tip pretty well. I tip anywhere between 20-25% every time. Even if the guy or girl is not very good but as long as they're polite and everything too, and they're like
effort.
I've been there, and like I said, I've been terrible, so I understand. This guy that comes over, twat. So this guy comes over, and first of all, he's got his mask halfway down. It's like, wear it or don't. Wear it or don't.
That shit drives me crazy.
It's like, look, I understand we're in a place now, people, and we're outside. Don't. But don't. I'm teasing you. I could be wearing it, but I'm not. Well, then fucking take it off or wipe your ass with it. Do something, right? So that's part one. Part two now is, I hadn't been out in a little bit, and I'm like, and we're waiting, and he's like, and he comes over with his pad. He's like, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get a menu. He's like, you scan the code. And I'm gonna scan your fucking ass in a second. So I'm like, okay, I'll scan the code. And I was being, okay, so I forgot I didn't scan the code. I tried to joke with the guy a little bit, wasn't happening. So then he takes the order. My wife orders first, and my wife goes, I'm listening to her because I know that she's like, because last time we ordered from the place, she ordered this the vegetable roll. And they put like the salad thing on it, but so she's like, I got to be very specific next time. She's like, I want the cucumber and avocado roll. She was very clear. And then she said, and the shrimp tempura roll. And my nephew ordered something, and then we so the guy, first of all, he comes out and he's just slapping down the food like he's working in a mill, right?
Jesus.
And I'm like, what is this guy doing, right? And then he makes the classic mistake. He's bringing out all my nephew's food, he's bringing out all my food, and my wife's just sitting there in hunger. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, you're doing it wrong here. And then he brings the roll, and it's got the fucking lettuce in it. So she's like, no, and she's playing. She's like, I said the avocado and the thing. He's like, and he gives a face and walks away. That's part one. Then he comes. No, he didn't even do the worst thing yet. Then he comes back, and we're like, and very politely, we're like, is the shrimp tempura done? He's like, you didn't order that. And I go, and my wife goes, yeah, I did. And I remember hearing it very clearly. She did. I go, yeah, she did. And he looks at me and goes, no, she didn't. And I go, and I stood up, and I never do this. I go, dude, I got to talk to the manager, man.
I can't fathom telling someone.
I was like, dude, I said I've worked in the restaurant business for like before, and like it's just not how you talk to people. And I was calm. Yeah. I was calm, and I'm like, this is not how you do it, brother. And I went in, and the manager isn't here yet, so then he knew because he sent someone else with the bill, and I talked to this other guy who I've seen before, and this guy was awesome. This guy was like, he's like, yeah, he's had that complaint with the mask and this and that. And then the guy was beyond rude. And like I said, I tipped 20 to 25% normal. I made it a point. I made the biggest fucking zero in the tip, and almost like an arrow, like this is what you did.
Yeah.
And I had no qualms about it. Like I said, I never.
If someone's offensive,
he was such
different.
This guy was a cock.
Yeah, like, that's another thing.
And the manager came out, and she was a sweetheart. And I was like, look, and I told her, I said, I'm not looking for a discount. I'm not looking for a refund. I go, give me the bill that we ate. I said, I'm not looking for any of that. And because sometimes people will just complain about shit to get discounts.
Yeah, people suck.
I'm like, because even if she was about to say something, like, oh, why can't I go? I don't want you to take anything of the bill.
Which shows how bad it was. You literally just want to tell how bad your server is. I want nothing.
I said to her, I want you to compliment the chef because the food was phenomenal, like it always is.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy should not be representing your restaurant because this is not. I've been here for 12 years, and I had to say it because I was like, it was. And my wife's like, you never.
Yeah.
Because I'm usually, if someone sends something back or something, I'm like, oh. I hate when people send shit back. I hate when people don't tip well. I hate it. But this guy was
You've worked in restaurants too, right?
Dude.
Long time.
Yeah.
I picked.
Yeah. That's right.
But the other side.
So
that's
the
other side, though.
So I don't listen to you, and
but
you just forget everything
past.
about me.
I just forget journeys.
It's all good, baby.
We got short term, long term.
But you see but am I on the right here?
No, 1,000%.
Oh, 100%.
1,000%. Because it's one of those situations where.
So that's a message.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again.
I can't tip that guy. He told my wife.
You can't lose money.
He told my wife that she didn't order what I clearly had, like what he should have done, what I would have done at that point, even if I felt.
I'm so sorry I missed that.
100%.
That's the simplest.
Or blame it on the kitchen.
And then he doubled down. He doubled down and said, no, she didn't do
right,
after
me.
Her.
And blame it on the kitchen.
Because
the kitchen, I'm not going to check with the kitchen.
Because what you could also do, like, I hate the adage at this point that the customer is always right because there's a lot of people that are twats that are intentionally taking advantage of the system.
Course.
But considering what the power dynamic is of you are there to serve somebody, unless they say something rude or out of pocket to you, if your wife goes, where's the shrimp tempura? You either go, I missed it, or oh man, I must not have heard that. I'm so sorry. Or like you said, blame it on the kitchen.
That's it.
Take the onus on you.
If he would have said to me, if he was like, I'm sorry, I totally missed that. Then my normal thing, my wife would have probably, because she was starving, would be like, oh, I can't believe they missed that. I'm like, that's all right. I didn't know. He didn't know. And that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
But when he looked at me like and saying
and
that.
the double down, dude.
I'm
the
like,
double down's incredible.
You should have seen his face, Coy. He was like, he looks at me and he's just like, no, she didn't order it. I'm like, are you out of your mind? I hear this woman in my ear every day. I know when she's talking.
Guys,
he also he's actively ruining your day.
Guys, we have our HBO Max show. We sell this to HBO Max about this fucking shit ass.
This is a Curb episode. Shit ass the server.
And you're asking me, and you have a special cameo. You say, hey, why is shit ass so bad?
I wish I knew.
Shit ass.
Shit ass.
We didn't talk about the breaking news.
Yes, wait, give me the breaking news in a second. Because
okay, when do we get through shit ass?
Yeah, before shit ass comes, I got to tell you guys about MyBookie. Don't be a shit ass.
These guys aren't shit ass.
No, MyBookie's not shit ass.
Look when I started.
MyBookie helps you out, man.
It's a shirt.
MyBookie helps you out, and it helps you out well because everybody's talking about the madness, and it's begun. And it's time for you guys to shoot your shot and score big on the nonstop action, but you got to do it with MyBookie. It doesn't matter whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or you're just looking for player and game props. MyBookie has you covered. You got to sign up today, though, at MyBookie and use that promo code BIGTHING to secure a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. It's simple. Put in $200 and play with $300. You got to use that code BIGTHING to claim your bonus. That's college ball, it's NBA, that's UFC. It doesn't matter the sport. It doesn't matter the minute. MyBookie puts the action in your hands with in-game live betting. And with choice from thousands of lines and odds, you can turn any game day into payday. You got to bet anything, anytime, anywhere, and do it with MyBookie.
Yo.
This summer, shit ass.
No, dibs. I said it. I fucking said it first. It was my goddamn idea. Dibs. Fucking dibs.
That's right.
It's yours. It's yours. Shit ass dibs.
On HBOMAX coming this year, starring Winston A. Marshall.
As shit ass.
No. You'll play that. Listen, you can't cast me.
No. You're the disgruntled first guest.
I think you might be. No. Kristian might be
I'll
the
be
server
shit-ass.
because you'd be shit-ass. Because I think you would have too much fun doing it. You would have too much fun.
I would.
And then I would come. I would totally come in as a manager.
Are you the manager?
Sure.
Are you the one dealing with shit ass? Like you're managing Kristian at all times, and you're just like, oh, shit ass did it again.
Shit ass did it again. Dun, dun,
it's like an 80s sitcom in my head where it's like, oh, shit ass.
The things you do, the things you take. Sometimes you have got to fake it, but not shit ass.
Hey, it's slow, or hey, it's fast. It really doesn't matter. It's just shit ass. He comes around and he says, "What do you want?" And hey, my goodness, he's not gonna get you your water. He's not gonna get you nothing. He's really shitty. He's shit ass.
Pull up your mask.
Pull up your mask. Shit ass. You're really, really slow, and you're really not fast. You're shit ass. You're shit ass. And why are you working at a sushi place?
I wish I knew.
I knew.
You were right there.
There it is.
Oh my God, what happened? Shit ass just got knocked out.
He needs some milk.
Oh shit, it was the manager. He finally snapped.
That's the season finale.
Shit ass.
Season 2 is the lawsuit.
I'm gonna take a
courtroom with shit ass.
We should go there for a big thing lunch.
Yeah, let's all go. We'll have an experience.
We should go because she said she goes next time. The manager said next time you come in, like, ask for me or somebody else too, because she's like, shit ass works every day. she's like he works every day. I'm like, why?
How is he not improved?
Every day.
Here's my question: when is the cutoff point of you are not doing your job well, so you're gone?
That's my question.
When the guy told me, when the other guy when I talked to told me, like, we get complaints about him all the time.
How does that guy stay employed?
Why is he here 7 days a week?
There's so many people that need jobs in Los Angeles.
No.
How is shit ass
Why
employed?
is shit ass there 7 days a week? He's there.
You know what? Because all the good people, for the most part, except for the guy you were talking about, the manager, they've all kind of quit because they were tired of
getting paid minimum wage and dealing with shit ass.
So shit ass isn't good enough
it's
to go
true.
on.
He looked mid-40s, balding, right? Like he's probably 22 years old.
But all that hate festering inside him, like
he had
the
a
Joker.
full mane. He was loving life, and then he just went to shit.
Chris,
he's like the Joker now.
Industry,
is this like a high-end restaurant?
It's a nice restaurant.
Okay, the only reason why I ask
is high-end, but it's nice.
The only reason why I ask is it could go two ways. He's either like some 22-year-old, like you said, and he honestly looks like a 40-year-old, and so I would be mad, like Coy just said, or he's a 40-something-year-old. His dreams never came true, so he just became a shit ass.
He's been in LA for 20 years, and it didn't work out, but he doesn't want to leave.
Yeah,
that's rough.
He's not,
everybody knows those servers.
Like,
why did
I humanize shit
You just
ass?
immediately, this is a James Gunn show.
This is
Peacemaker.
About.
It's shit ass.
This is what I was talking about. Kristian was telling us, I'm not going to get into the details of it, but Kristian was talking about I'm very good at reading people early on and figuring out if they're going to be a problem or if they're going to be cool. And my ass is always trying to find the good in fucking everybody.
Well, when he walked in, I said, this, you got a problem in this tag. It said shit ass. I
don't like him.
What's the breaking news you wanted to talk about?
So we got a new Marvel property,
which
we have not had in a long time get announced because it's been a while since D23 when that wave of announcements. Right. We are getting probably a show, but maybe a movie. It hasn't been confirmed. Nova.
It's about time.
I mean, right?
Jesus.
Nova's been teased since Guardians 1. Nova's a very big character in the comics. He's a huge cosmic character. So as Marvel goes more cosmic, this is a really big deal. He's like a space cop. And I don't know if they're going to go Sam Alexander. I don't know if they're going to go Ryder. I don't know which one of the Novas they're going to do, but I'm assuming this takes place after the events Guardians of the Galaxy because James Gunn has said over and over again, this is the last time you'll see this team. Right. I'm wondering if they get murked. And if we see a Nova save one or two of them, I think we might introduce Nova there, and then he gets a spinoff. That's what I would do. And I think we're going to get a Disney Plus show. One of the writers of Moon Knight is coming over to do it.
You think that they're going to actually show Nova in Guardians 3?
Yeah, I think so. I think they had to announce this before the movie.
All
right, personally.
I mean, I guess if you want to ramp up some hype, but I mean, that would have been a huge, oh shit!
I'm wondering if they were worried about casting it and then that getting out that way, so they put an announcement out. You know what I mean? I feel like Marvel at this point knows leaks are going to happen, so they're trying to get ahead of it.
Sure.
And I'm wondering if they announced it out of nowhere, Moon Knight conversation. Suddenly we know it's Nova, not at D23, not at Comic-Con, so I'm wondering if we're about to find out a thing. That's why I'm assuming. I mean, he could pop up in Thor.
Yeah, see, I know nothing about this character, so it's the same thing. I didn't know. I don't know. I know nothing about this.
The power set is different, but think of it the same way. You're familiar with the Green Lantern Corps, right?
Yeah.
Think of it the same way. Nova is a part of a bunch of space cops.
Yeah.
That helmet that he's specifically wearing gives him abilities to fly super fast. Can you breathe through space with that thing on?
Yeah.
Breathe through space, shoot beams, all that kind of stuff. The easiest way to just think of him is he's a part of a galactic corps of cops.
Is he goofy or is he fun?
Depends on which iteration you're looking at. Some of them they make him very goofy. Like if you go and look at what is it, Ultimate Spider-Man that they did on Disney XD for a while, they made him like a giant goofball.
You know, I think it's funny. It's not the fact that I'm allergic to fun anymore. It's the fact that it's the fact I don't know.
Shouldn't have put it in his sushi.
I think I'm over goofiness in I think I'm over it. And
I think that's the benefit of having 15 properties at once is you can go hey, this isn't for me. I got Moon Knight. Hey, this isn't for me. You don't have to.
Right. And again, I don't want to say too much about Moon Knight. Reviews are coming out, but there's definitely you definitely feel. All I'll say is this, without a review, is you definitely feel, even though it's different. There's still a bit of that Marvel stuff that pops in here and there.
Sure.
Which is why I think a lot of people like that. You know, I just think that, I don't know, maybe it's it's weird that it's a palate cleanser when you watch something like the Batman.
Right.
It's weird because it's that shouldn't be the palate
Even that
cleanser.
one scene, even the Joker scene we've talked about today, that scene feels so unlike any other scene from a comic book movie.
I like that we get that in our genres, right? And that's also why the difference is where DC can play that and the Marvel can play the other side of it, and they kind of balance each other out. Star Wars doesn't really have that because it's the only game in town in that side of
That's
fantasy.
why I was so excited for Rogue One. That's why I was so excited for
but Rogue
you know what
One,
I mean?
But even Rogue One still had
plenty of the familiarity, but I was hoping that would do well enough to cause the, a little
it
bit
did well though. It did really well.
I'm sorry, I meant spin-off wise, I was hoping to get more Rogue Ones, and we haven't since.
Well, I think Andor
I
think obviously from Rogue One is going to be that. I think that what I was talking about yesterday, or 2 days ago, I did Sith Council, and there was a question that was asked about, do I ever think there'll be a Darth Bane or a Darth Plagueis series or a Palpatine series or a Vader series? I don't think that Disney has, and I say this as nice as I can, I don't think they have the balls to lead with a villain. Right, because they get too scared that
of how dark it
leading with a bad guy in a Disney series.
I disagree, because you did these whole villain reimaginations for Disney properties. I think that was them. That's them testing the waters.
But wait. Maleficent was not a villain in her movies. She was a villain in the Disney stories, but they made her a good guy in the movies.
Right.
She was redeemed.
Fair.
I'm not talking about redeeming villains and making them good guys like they did in Boba Fett.
Sure.
I'm talking about having a full-on Walter White, Tony Soprano.
Yeah.
Because that's what they thought. That's what you thought you were going to get with Boba Fett. Because
in
Boba Fett walks in Mandalorian at the end of Mandalorian season 2 and shoots Bib Fortuna dead, and you're like, that's who we're getting. We didn't get that. We got the Maleficent.
Yeah,
that's basically what we got. So
okay.
So I'm
the
talking.
Character is a villain. The portrayal is not.
The character has ceased to be a villain. As it started out as the villainous stuff that they had done in the past, and now they've been redeemed. I'm talking about full on evil. Darth Bane is a villain.
Well, and what's tricky is all characters think they're right. All characters think they are making the right choice. The problem is showing it with perspective that it is a villainous act, and that's what I think Disney won't do.
They won't do it.
Even Walter White, he felt justified by the end, but he was still a villainous at the last season.
He became one by the time you got there.
And the stuff that he did throughout was villainous, right? And that's the type of Darth Bane, his story, and I don't know how true it is, but there were rumors that they were working on at a time a Darth Bane script, and they scrapped it. Probably, I don't know if it was the same idea because he was a villain. If they adapt the Drew Karpyshyn novels, there's the story. Do you guys know the story of Darth Bane at all? So Darth Bane takes place in the novels that Drew Karpyshyn. They're not canon novels, but the character is, and Yoda even brought him up in Clone Wars. And this is where I get to geek out on you.
Yeah, man, I'm listening.
So Darth Bane, the Sith and the Jedi during the Old Republic, there were thousands and thousands of them. So the Sith army would battle the Jedi army, and they kept battling and fighting, and the Jedi would always win because the Sith would always crave each other's power, and they fought within. And they never could. They could never overcome the Jedi, no matter how thousands and thousands of years in the Old Republic.
So they get down to the rule of two, right?
Darth Bane, in the novels, and then what he ultimately did was that he created the rule of two, and he killed all of the Sith with this kind of. He became very powerful in the Force, and he found a way. This kind of thought bomb, this thing that I forget what it's called, and he killed all of them. And he made sure that he created the rule of two, and he found one person to train. And he trained that apprentice, Darth Zana, and he trained her to be his apprentice, and until one day she would get powerful enough where she would try to challenge him, and if she wasn't, then he would kill her. If she was powerful enough, then she deserved to take the throne, and then she would have to get her own apprentice, and that's what the rule of two and the Sith would continue to do. So every single time, and then eventually, through 1,000 years, they got to Darth Plagueis, who killed his master, took over. His master was going to train someone else, and he said, "This guy Plagueis he's not powerful enough. I'm wrong. I got to find someone else." And Plagueis was powerful enough, killed him, and then Plagueis finds Sheev Palpatine and trains Palpatine, and Palpatine then overtakes him. So that's over 1,000 years or more so in the Old Republic leading up to it.
Bro.
But if you had like a Darth Bane series, dude, it's like Rome.
Obviously, Vader died, but fam, what if all that really wasn't redemption, but just him now taking over the damn Sith?
when he died?
At the end of Return of Jedi, when he throws the Emperor into the... I mean, I guess technically he lives through the Skywalker saga. Let's not talk about that.
No, I know what you...
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If all of a sudden he was like, I actually just murdered him so I could become...
I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Well, because
I'm the captain now.
Yeah, if he tossed him... Well, that's what he tries to do in Empire. And he says to him, he's trying to recruit Luke to overturn the Palpatine. He's like, join me.
But isn't that out of order? Don't you murder your master first and then get an apprentice?
Not necessarily. No, you can. He's like you overtake him and you plot to kill him. And Dooku tried to do the same thing, and they try to overtake each other. And I think that if you do that, and that's why I'm so curious about the Acolyte, because the Acolyte is supposed to be very Sith based, and it takes place in the High Republic, which is right before Phantom Menace, and I think it's like between 30 and 50 years right before, something like that. And the question is going to be, the Acolyte is the Sith kind of hiding out during that time when they haven't been shown, and the Jedi don't know that they're there, because during the High Republic there's tons of Jedi running around. And so that Acolyte, is it this new character, or does it ultimately become Darth Plagueis leading into finding Palpatine, which would be interesting.
See, I want all of these things that don't involve a Skywalker.
Right.
I'm very excited and that's why I personally was bummed about Boba, because I was really excited to see new things, and then it retread things, and then it just kind of fell off for me, and then it came back. I liked the end, but I really would love if I feel that Star Wars pull again, because hearing those laser sounds and hearing a lightsaber, all that gives me such a chill and such a warmth. But between the fandom being vocal and violent, and the movies feeling just like they're repeating themselves, I want to love Star Wars as much as I used to, and I really hope all these things can come to light so I can feel it.
Yeah, I like the stuff that they did in Mandalorian, because
the Mandalorian's great. Because
even,
no notes.
You didn't like the Skywalker stuff in Boba?
It just felt like an excuse.
Yes,
you know?
But see, the only reason I liked it, I mean, I can understand if you're just trying to watch a Boba Fett series and people who complained about it, but the reason why I think it works it's the time period and the side, plus the fact that they were very vocal beforehand saying that this is really kind of like a Mando 2.5.
If they'd called it that, I wouldn't have minded it.
But the fact that they did, I get it. I understand that.
Because I guess that's the messed up part about it. If you tell me, okay, we're doing WandaVision, but as a heads up, this is actually Doctor Strange 1.5.
They literally removed
do Doctor Strange 1.5 as a TV show,
and they literally took him out of the show. Do you know that?
Right, because they wanted to have her own agency.
And then on the other way, they did with Boba. They but what if?
And they made a classic error with the Boba Fett series for this, because what I think ultimately happened there, Jon Favreau wanted to do a Boba Fett show from the get. And then they told him, well, he's not really a Mandalorian. He's not, so we can create this other Mandalorian. We can do this. And they ultimately made Din Djarin the Boba Fett that we always knew and loved. Like, if you look at the way Din acts from the beginning, and even how he acts, he's Boba Fett. And he's that cool, kick-ass motherfucker that comes in and just does what he's supposed to do.
But then you take the mask off of Boba Fett, you got to make it a different character.
And it's like, what do we do with Boba Fett? Are we going to make him exactly the same? Because he's pretty badass in Mandalorian when he comes in. And I think they could have kept him, honestly, the same way. I would have been okay if they had similarities. And he had more of this past. And they never went back and played off. They kept teasing the thing with him holding his father's helmet.
Right.
But they never even went back and did it. They just dropped Boba Fett completely because they didn't know what to do with him. The redeeming story it just didn't work, in my opinion.
I agree with you. And I think it's one of those situations where you could have had a scenario where, because what we got from Din as the Mandalorian is he really is more neutral and almost on the side of good in that regard, whereas Boba has always had that edge and is more on the side of evil. You could have had it where they maybe are able to work together, but they don't see eye to eye.
It's like Venom and Spider-Man.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Really make Boba Fett an anti-hero in that regard. But you didn't. You just kind of said, he's good now.
I would have liked Venom Boba Fett.
Well, here's what we did. We talked a lot. And we talked about the Joker, but strangely enough, Shit-Ass became the biggest villain of the show.
Headliner. Good luck with the graphics. I don't know what the graphic of the show is going to be.
So good ass.
Kristian's at the sushi place, trying to get shots of Shit-Ass.
Next time I go, I'm going to take a picture of Shit-Ass.
Make sure he's the cover, man.
Yeah. Dude, oh God, what if he's like $100 patron and we didn't even realize it?
He's like, I saw that guy.
I don't want him. I don't want
him. And that's the only time I say stiffing's okay, when it's that level of hate, when you don't want someone's patronage.
Because and again, we can get the hell out of here in a second, but my point was, it wasn't a matter of just stiffing him. It was because, like I said, I tipped in you 20-25% every time, no matter how good or bad someone was. It was the idea of, dude, you did everything possibly wrong that you could have done. You did it.
Yeah.
And you didn't care. Like, that's
someone needs to know they're not good at their job.
Anyway. All right, listen. That's the Shit-Ass Show. This is Troy, Winston. Make sure you SEN Live, everybody. Don't forget SEN Live. That's on Patreon. And besides that, we're going to do this rewatch, and it's going to be The Mask of Phantasm. So make sure you go ahead and head on over there. And don't you dare forget, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few moments today, ladies and gentlemen, Bibiani and Ellison in the undercard. And what an undercard. That would be a main event in any other card. However, Marisol Mckee, Lady Justice, is going to try to defend her title for a third time, but in order to do it, she's got to beat a legend. The Inglorious One, Sam Levine, returning. He's returned after 4 years, and this is his first title match since 2018, his first singles title match, and he's going up against Marisol Mckee. Can he do it? Can he win it? Can he be he'll be the fifth person to ever repeat if he does it, or will Marisol Mckee become the first person to defend 3 times? You can check it out. The link is in the description if you want to be a patron, or you can just buy the single link. But don't miss it today. It's Friday Night Titans, and it is exclusive for you guys who decide to watch it. For Coy Jandreau and for Winston A. Marshall, I'm me. You're you.